Ronald. Let's go. Turn us up, Ronald.
Hey, there you go. There you go.
Hi again, everybody. Welcome to the Carroll McCray Show here at North Greenville University, where Christ makes a difference. Well, season number 1 with Coach McCray is in the bag, and Coach, I think you'll agree, it was a season of highs and lows in 2 parts.
It really was, and really extremely proud of our football team, the way they hung in there, and we really started slow, and transition was really a good word for us. You know, it was difficult to fight through that transition, and we were getting familiar with each other, and then trying to really mesh a large group of young guys with a really veteran group that had won a lot of games here. And really proud of our older guys who hung in there, showed great leadership, and about the midway point, we started to change directions and show a little spunk in our step, and it really was fun down the stretch.
Well, Coach, you finished 5-6 overall, but more importantly, won your last 4 games and went 4-4 in the South Atlantic Conference Scheduling Alliance. Right. You've got to be extremely proud of that.
Well, we are, and we found out that league, or I did. Our guys already knew it's a very difficult league, and certainly compares to the Southern Conference in 1AA or the SEC and in 1A, and I think it's proven by the teams we have in the playoffs, you know, from the SAC each and every year. So difficult schedule, and really pleased that, you know, we went 4-4. Now what we want to do is get back in that upper echelon as we did year before last.
Well, Coach, in some of the college professor persuasion, I did a little research to look at, try to analyze this season a little bit. You knew it was going to be difficult coming in, as you said, with a young group, lost 7 starters on defense, but you were able to blend all that back together.
Yeah, well, it takes a little bit of time to do all those things, and hopefully, you know, we could have proven it to be a little bit quicker. But we sustained 4 really critical injuries in the Albany State game in that opener with a quarterback and a really great pass rusher on the defensive side, and then we lost a nose guard, and on it went. And I thought that lent toward a little delay in us blending things together. And you know, when we got our quarterbacks going a little bit, and we did get some defensive players back, although we continue to have injuries, that's all part of the game. We got some guys back in critical spots, and it really showed because it gave us depth. And we're able to play more guys over a course of time, and I thought that kept us fresh, and I thought the coaches did a good job bringing everybody along together.
I think your schedule had a little bit to do with that. Your first 5 games, a really top-notch Division II and 3 playoff caliber Division II teams. If your schedule could have been flopped, who knows what would have happened?
Well, it could be true, and schedule does play a factor in it. And going on the road, of course, is difficult, and we played quite a few of those on the road, and but, you know, good football teams, as we've had the last 2 years, went on the road. You know, when you're tough and you're a little more mature and you're a little bit older, a veteran football team should just see, you know, have a little steadiness about them, where going on the road, it is more difficult, but it's a lot more like playing at home when you get a little bit older. So we hope as we continue to grow a little bit in our age that we can get back to where playing on the road isn't as tough on us.
Let's look at the offense this year. The performance of the team was came a long way in a short period of time toward the end of the season. Coach Kenneth Ray and the offensive coaches did a great job putting some pretty good schemes on the field toward the end of the season.
Well, we did, and I think if you go back and look, when we were able to run the football, which we feel like we have to do, then we were able to throw the football when we wanted to, and we were successful, in both phases. When we got one-handed and we had difficulty running the football, which we did at times, it became a little bit extreme for us to score a lot of points. But we had some weapons. Our freshman running backs came on. Paul had a really good year for a freshman, and maybe I think he had 2 games, at least 2 full games he didn't play. He might have been a 1,000-yard rusher early, but when he was a good, strong runner inside, we could get the ball on the edges using our receivers and our speed backs in the ways that we wanted to do that. But it was kind of a continual growth period every week. Who's healthy now? How can we build it around them? So, but extremely proud of our older guys, the Troy Joneses, Taylor Malphus, Adderley, all those guys that were skilled guys that came back and even played, injured throughout most of the year, like Sean Wright. He's had a foot that bothered him all year. He'd hobble through the week and then play on Saturday. But that's what older guys do. And they know how to maintain their bodies through the season and get that done. And I thought the coach did a good job working with them so that we could be as effective as we could offensively through the home stretch.
Well, Darius Polk had 748 yards rushing. The development of Nelson Hughes was really probably key in the whole thing. Threw for 1,230 yards and 6 touchdowns, but his development really was a key.
Well, it did. We lost him in the first game, and then we got him back after about 5 ball games, so that tells you a little bit about what went on. But at the same time, Joey Carter was able to play while he was out and did some good things. And then we're able to go ahead and push Tyrell Hillary on the field, even though he was a freshman, to start preparing him. And I think when Nelson did come back, then we had 3 guys that had some game experience, and we actually were able to play more than just Nelson. And I think not having the entire weight of the program on his shoulders, being the quarterback, knowing we could play other guys, I thought that helped him, and it helped the other guys in their growth as well. So as difficult as it was, it did work out good in the end.
Well, we said all along, your offensive line really, in the long run stretch of the season, really was the solid performer for you.
Well, it was. I thought Coach Ray brought them along, and we developed a little bit of depth. We were able to play some more guys. We did lose Will Beecham, there right in the middle, and we had to move some guys around, but hopefully, Lord willing, we'll get him back. And even though we lose, 2 really big linemen, and Chance and Sterling, we got a bunch of other guys now that have played, and I think we can add to that and hopefully continue to build our line. But certainly you're going to win or lose with those guys up front on both sides of the football.
We're going to lose some pretty good defensive players, Jonathan Sharp, Stephon Bino, Isaiah Johnson, Darren Foster, but guys like Braylon Meredith, Zach Epting, Brandon Aldridge, they'll be back one more year. They're the guys that have been around for a while to set the tone, but for some pretty good freshmen, Nick Rogers, C.J. Thomas, Marjorie Wingfield. Got some pretty good players coming back on defense.
Well, because we had lost 7, on that side. We had to play a lot of young guys. Stephon and Jonathan and AJ and Darian, those guys you mentioned were really, Isaiah, were a mainstay. Because they played so much and won so many games, that group really impressed me. Because it didn't matter if we were up or down, first play to last play, they were playing like their pants were on fire. And I was really grateful for their leadership defensively. And then as we came down the stretch and got a few guys back and, we stayed a little bit more healthy, we were difficult to score on. We played defensively like I thought the entire season prior to us getting here. And that's why we really want to keep our scheme the same. I think our scheme is outstanding. I really enjoy watching our guys very aggressively play on defense. I think it's fun to play in our scheme. And we want to recruit more guys to it, but we do have a good group of guys coming back that have played a lot of football, and we're going to move those guys forward as leaders, hopefully add to that and pick up right where we left off defensively. I hope we can.
Well, your kicking game was solid again. Justin Gravely, Parker Langford, Jacob Buckley. Yep. Guys are around for 2 years now. They're going to be pretty good next year.
Well, they are, and we're glad to have them all back. And but the kicking game, when we won the kicking game, as is in most cases, we had an opportunity to win the football game because you got to turn the field over and all that hidden yardage. If you're gaining ground in that hidden yardage, because your team's doing well in the kicking game, you got a chance toward the end to probably win. And if you don't, it usually proves to be your demise. So really grateful the way those guys stuck in there. We had a lot of guys play on special teams, we had 10 or 11 true freshmen we played throughout the year. And a lot of those guys, their role was just special teams as they learned the system offensively and defensively. So we're hoping that will certainly add to our process as we go through spring practice and into the fall next year.
Coach, I know we wrapped up the season, but I know your other season has already started. You're busy with recruiting.
That's true.
That's the lifeblood of college football, and you're out there doing that right now. What do you have to do this year to bring in some new young men to supplement our program?
Well, I think that what has happened here over the course of the last 3 years has certainly been beneficial. Our university is known not only throughout the state, but in our surrounding states. I think the growth of our university academically and all the things that's happening on campus is certainly opening the door for a lot of people to come in here and look at our university and see the broad range of academics they can study. We certainly sell that. We certainly go out and make sure everybody understands we're a Christian university, and we're very proud of that and the things that we stand for there. And at the same time, I think it's proven from what had happened here the last 2 seasons and the way we finished where our football team's headed. And hopefully we can continue to close that gap and get it right back where it was from last year's football team as a quarterfinal in the national playoffs, and move into those playoffs again next year and be recruiting and playing at the same time. That's the great thing that all coaches want, to be recruiting and playing in that postseason play at the same time.
Well, we hope you bring in some great young men for next fall, Coach.
Can.
Well, Coach, do you have a season-ending winner of the Off the Stat Sheet Award?
You know, I think really there's so many guys, and we did our awards the other night, and we had a lot of guys nominated for a lot of things, which is good. There's a couple guys stood out and they got the awards, but having a lot of guys nominated in a lot of areas shows that we were a team. And I thought there was a lot of guys from sharps and binos to those senior receivers and all those guys that won't be coming back that really played off the charts in leadership in that locker room that held us together. And then there's a lot of names that we do know some of them, the Pauks and the Hillarys and those guys, some Audrey Wingfield and those guys that played, but we got a lot of guys that played as a role player. They were young guys, came here thinking they were going to be redshirted, but they played. And down the home stretch, winning 5 out of 6, they were big factors in the game. So I think the word team is my off the stats chart word, because a lot of guys contributed to that.
And that says a lot about how you're building your program.
Well, I hope so.
Well, Coach, do you have any particular memorable moments from the season? I know those bus rides are probably not it, but
well, those bus rides, I think we grew a lot as a team and learned a lot about each other. And I really think that we came out of September and we were trying to gain our identity. And we played our second home football game here at the university. And about the 4th or 5th play against Newberry, A.J. Jones picked the football off, ran it in the end zone. And when all of our defensive guys met him in the end zone, you just felt something different on the sidelines of thinking that, look what we can do together. And from that point on, we really started taking steps forward. There were challenges along the way, but we continued to take steps forward throughout the program. And I think that was a big play. You never know when momentum's going to change. And in college football, it's such a game of momentum because you're working with 18 and 22-year-olds that, boy, when things are going good, we can all run fast. And but what we found out when things got difficult, we would pull our shoestrings up a little bit tighter, and we fought through that. And that's where I thought we really gained ground. But that stands out because that was a guy that's our senior leader. He stepped forward. He continued to play, and he showed what it's all about. You always keep fighting. You always keep working for your team and for your school, because that's what you want to learn through this great game.
Well, Carson Newman is still alive in the Division II playoffs. They're from the South Atlantic Conference. They're one of our top rivals and opponents. We'll have to catch up with them next year.
Well, we will. And I think Coach Sparks is a great target for us to continue to look at because of that university, what it stands for, and what he's done over the years and been consistent in the upper echelon throughout the country. So for them to be playing is great. And for us to look at them and try to make sure we know what they're doing is a good model for us to continue to look at.
Absolutely. Well, Coach McCray is out on the road recruiting right now, but we have a lot of football coming up. Spring practice will start in March or April, I'm sure. And another big game coming up at North Greenville on Saturday, March 23rd, the South Carolina College All-Star Bowl game. Pretty good opportunity to host it right here at Young Stadium.
No question about it. We're very grateful for the administration allowing that to happen at our school and for the talent and the recognition it's going to bring North Greenville University. We'll be right in the middle of it. It'll be good for our players to see, And I'm really hoping that there'll be an opportunity for maybe a couple of our guys to get out there and compete and play in the South Carolina All-Star game.
Again, that game's coming up Saturday, March 23rd here at North Greenville University. Former Clemson coach Danny Ford and former South Carolina State coach Willie Jeffries will be coaching the two teams. It'll be broadcast live on WMYA Channel 40 out of Asheville. So an exciting time for North Greenville football coming up in the spring.
It really is. And we'll have winter workouts, weightlifting, spring practice, and this will be something to really target as well. So we're looking forward to the spring.
Well, we're looking forward to see what young men decide to come join us. But if you want to find out who that is coming up in February, follow everything on our website, www.ngcrusaders.com. Well, Coach, any last thoughts before we wrap up the 2012 season?
Well, just to say that we're very appreciative to what our senior football team did. And as those guys depart, we're excited. They're all going to get their diploma. Some will be graduating here in December and going out and representing North Greenville, as did the two previous senior classes. And I'm grateful for those guys, and I'm looking forward to the hard work that's going to be put in by the guys that will be returning.
Well, Coach, it's been an extreme pleasure for me to be with you all season long, and we hope to continue to watch the development of the program.
Well, we're excited about it, and I appreciate what you've done for us.
Absolutely. So, for Coach Carroll McCray, I'm Fred Battenfield. This is the North Greenville Sports Network.
Work it like a pro, 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 work it like a pro. When it's time to put it down, I'ma work it like a pro. Got my feet on solid ground, so I work it like a pro. When I run up in your town, I'ma work it like a pro. I'ma work it like a pro, work it like a pro. Bottom line, my ministry is my life.